18 months ago, amongst the red rock giants of Sedona, it started with an intention of building a global community based in love and contribution. That intention ignited the spark, and the spark became a fire. Nestled in a forest in the mountains of Taiwan, joined by a diverse group of beautiful human beings, people with a pioneering mindset from all over the world, all gathered to learn and to expand as we move into the next phase of our journey. This rising generation of leaders are stepping into a new, expanded version of themselves through the power of this global movement. The joy of self-discovery is unfolding in the climb towards freedom and wellness. Through our connection and interaction, we begin to awaken the realization of who we are. This work is part of my life's purpose. This 18 months journey has illustrated the magical power of intention when backed by the efforts of honoring one's purpose. As I'm sitting here, I am filled with joy and gratitude. It is the opening to a new level of liberation, a new zest for life, while sharing a rare and precious opportunity to transform lives around the world. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are tuning in today, and welcome to our Empowerment Tuesday. This is Kim Hui coming to you live from the beautiful Red Rock, Sedona. So I want to thank you for tuning in tonight, and tonight is truly a very special evening here for me personally in my career of 31 years in this space. And so before I bring out the special guests, I want to tell a story of what it means to stay on path, on our purpose, and on our work. I've been in this space about 31 years, and I remember in the early career in this space, 31 years ago, when I was a trying entrepreneur. I remember one day I was living in Los Angeles at that time. And I was driving from Los Angeles to San Francisco area to in building my dream, and sharing the opportunity, bring the opportunity to people in San Francisco. And so I was full of hope and excitement. And I took my last $20 back in those days, 31 years ago, $20 would get you a tank of gas. And so I remember I put my last $20 on a tank of gas, and I would drive up to San Francisco. So drove up to San Francisco, did my presentation, and the people in the room enrolled. And I got really excited, said, yes, I got my business expanded to San Francisco. So after that, I was trying to save money, and I don't have the money to stay at the hotel. So I was driving back to Los Angeles. And midway amongst those mountains, I got a phone call. And the person that enrolled when I was there doing the presentation, they called and says, you know what? They've changed their mind. And they wanted to cancel. They wanted to change the decision. And so it was at that time, at that moment, I said, I needed a voice of reasoning. I needed something to get me through this. And so I remember back in those days, now it's going to show age, okay? Back in those days, I remember I had a tape that there's something about this gentleman's voice that it completely, totally, utterly spoke to me. And so I plugged that cassette tape, okay, on my cassette player. I plug it in, and I remember this gentleman says, you know what? You got to be hungry. And I said to him, and I didn't have the money to go to his live seminar. I only have money for his cassette tape. Okay. So I would plug that cassette tape in the whole drive home. I'll be listening to him. You got to be hungry. You got to be hungry. And I told myself, I said, someday when I have the blessing, I want to meet this gentleman in person to tell him how special he is, to tell him the work that he has done has impacted my life. And who would have thought about 10 years ago, and this is about 10 years, I had the honor and the blessing to have shared stage with him. And now, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I have the blessing and honor tonight to share this Zoom with him. And what an incredible privilege. This gentleman is not only, to me, in my opinion, he is the top number one, in my opinion, he's the number one motivational speaker and human being in the whole entire planet. And for this gentleman, he has poured into humanity. Like I have I've never seen someone have such a heart. And his voice just resonates with people, and he has impacted tens and hundreds of millions of people around the globe. And so, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to this incredible global Zoom, none other than the iconic legend, Mr. Les Brown. Les!
Yes, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. Yes.
Oh, absolutely, Les. You are absolutely my favorite, and the best of the best. Your voice, your energy, and who you are as a human being. Thank you. Thank you for touching my lives and changing my lives. And thank you for speaking into millions of lives around the world. Thank you for all the work that you do.
Well, I want to thank you very much for showing up and I'm glad you started off with that story because I want to talk to everybody about the power of story. Let's think about this, that this time, this place where we are, so many people's lives have been turned upside down because of COVID and now because of artificial intelligence. Those of you that are here now, sharing the vision, the three vision of how we can begin to help people to handle the disruptions in their lives and how they can begin to live their dreams and control their destiny. I'm excited about sharing some thoughts with you. And just think about how time has flown. 31 years, February the 17th, I'll be 80. Now, I used to think people in their 40s were old. Now that I'm 80-ish, I feel I served at the Lord's Supper, but I got a lot of good tips.
Well, Les, you look literally 20 years younger.
Well, thank you so much.
Incredible.
Well, what I would like to do is introduce you to some products called Three. They help you to keep your youth.
Absolutely. We can talk a little bit
You
about
know,
that at the end.
yes, when we're born, we favor our parents, but as we get older, we favor the life that we live.
Hmm.
And so what Three does, and why I'm so excited about sharing this time that we have with those that are listening to us, is help people and I want everybody to write this down, prioritize your health.
Hmm.
There are a lot of people starting off a new year, they have all kind of resolutions. And I was talking to a friend of mine who listed all the things that he wanted to accomplish this year. And I looked on there and I said, I want to ask you a question. He said, what is it? I said, you have some ambitious goals and dreams, but I don't see your strategy for being here. I said, a person with their health have 1,000 dreams, but a
Hmm.
person without their health, they have only one, and that's to get better. I received from Cancer Centers of America 39-year fourth stage cancer conqueror. And trust me, it's better to be seen than to be viewed. So I want to talk to you about something that you already know.
Hmm.
But sometimes we lose our footing. Sometimes we get caught up in the noisiness of life and we become disconnected from ourselves. And so I want to talk to you about three power steps that's very important. I want you to think about your goals and about your dreams. A lot of people have been talking about Thrive in 25, but I want to talk to you about goes beyond your comfort zone. Why, Les? Because your comfort zone is where dreams go to die.
Mm,
In order to do the things that you have not done, the goals and dreams that you envision for yourself, you've got to become someone you've never been. So I want you to think about your major goals that you like to achieve. When I think about my life, my goal and dream, somebody asked me the other day, how did you get into speaking? And I had a high school teacher who was very much like Kim. And he was a person who inspired the students that went to him. He was involved in theater. And so I was looking for a friend of mine in his class. And I couldn't become one of his students, even though I admired him. But when I was in the fifth grade, I was labeled educable mentally retarded. I was put back from the fifth grade to the fourth grade, and I failed again in the eighth grade. And I was born in a poor section of Miami called Liberty City with my twin brother Wesley. I now live in Atlanta. We just discovered 45 minutes from here, Gainesville, Georgia, our birth mother became pregnant, and she went down to Miami, gave birth to us, and put us in foster care. And then Mrs. Mamie Brown adopted us. I always say that all that I am and all that I've ever hoped to be, I owe to my mother, that God took me and my brother out of our mother's womb, but placed us in the heart of our adopted mother.
mm,
And the reason I'm sharing this with you, I want you to think about why you here. What is it that inspire you to become a part of this? Because not only is mental resilience very important and having a positive mindset, like Kim talked about, and being able to turn a setback into a purpose driven life, your why, the reason why you're here, is very important. My goal was when I became of age, I said, Mama, what is it, Leslie? And Mama used to work for wealthy families on Miami Beach. And I said, when I become a man, I'm gonna buy you a big, beautiful home just like this. And we used to clean the homes of these wealthy people on Miami Beach. And Mama would say, Leslie, you don't have to do that. I said, I know, Mama, but you didn't have to take us in as foster kids, and then you adopted us, and you mothered 7 children you didn't give birth to.
mm,
And and so that was my goal and dream. I promised Mama, because she used to work in nursing homes, and I used to hear her say to Miss Catherine, our next door neighbor, that she never wanted to go to a nursing home. And I interrupted her. I said, Mama, you'll never go to a nursing home. If something happens to you, I'll take care of you. And I'll never forget, years later, when I became a state legislator in Columbus, Ohio, my sister called, Margaret Ann, and said, Leslie, are you sitting down? And I asked her, what's wrong with Mama? She said, Mama has breast cancer. It's terminal. And we're going to put her in a nursing home. I said, no, no, she's not going to a nursing home. I said, we'll take care of her. She said, Leslie, you just got reelected for the third time in the Ohio legislature. Listen to me. I enjoy politics, but I love Mama. And I promised her she'll never go to a nursing home, that we will take care of her. And and I just want to say, I just couldn't understand, how can one woman raise 7 children as a single mother that she didn't give birth to, but now 7 grown people can't take care of one woman? I said no. And I'll never forget the next day when I flew down to Miami and I rang the doorbell. My mother had a friend at the house. Her name was Mildred. And she came to the door. She said, oh my God. And Mama asked, I can hear in the background, Mildred, who is it? And she said, Mamie, it's Leslie. And I heard my mother say, I knew he would come. I knew he would come. I want to ask you, when you think about your goals and dreams in 2025 and beyond, you think about when you said yes to be a part of a community that will help you to develop a mindset of a possibility mindset of living your dreams, of how you can begin to develop your relationship skills, because this is a relationship business, and how you can become a part of a community of collaborative, achievement driven, supportive relationships. What is the goal and dream that you want to achieve? That gives you your why for living, that inspires you, that you won't need an alarm clock to get up in the morning. What is it when other people are just giving it lip service? You are giving it life service by being relentless and resilient and unstoppable in pursuit of the dream and building this business and creating strategic relationships. What is that something? Nietzsche said, if you know the why for living, you can endure almost anyhow. In the book called Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl, he talked about that if you have something that you believe in, something that gives your life power and meaning and purpose, when you think about the leadership that you have in Kim, who had this vision, bringing 40 friends together and people who have a vision of living life on their terms. Most people go through life living a life of mediocrity. One of the things that I love by Dr. Howard Thurman, who's a mentor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Albert Schweitzer and Mahatma Gandhi, he said the ideal situation for a man or woman to die, you have family members praying with them as they cross over. He said, but imagine, if you will, being on your deathbed and standing around your bed, the ghost of the dreams, the ideas, the abilities, the leadership, the story, your talents, looking at you with large, angry eyes, saying, we came to you, and only you could have given us life, and now we will die with you forever. And the question is, if you died today, what dreams? If you died today, what talents, what ability, what story, what leadership will die with you? One of the people that I mentored, Dr. Miles Monroe, he said, rob the cemetery of your talents and abilities. And so when you think about the goals that you have and having these goals beyond your comfort zone, I want to ask you the question, what's going to change about you? Because in order to do something you've never done, you've got to become someone that you've never been. That most people are so caught up in the distractions of life. Be ye not conformed to this world, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Most people are following the herd, they're
Mm-hmm.
following their hurts. But you said yes to this mission with your life because you're following your heart. Where your heart is, there your treasure is also. And so part of the process, and I want you to write this down, make know your vitamin. When you have a goal and dream, I want to say to you, based upon personal experience, you're going to face a lot of rejections. You're going to have people that won't see what you see. There are people who don't know that the whole issue of job security, that's gone. The 40/40 plan is gone, where you can go to college and spend thousands of dollars to get a degree and come out and expect to get a job and work for 40 years and retire on 40%, which wasn't enough in the first place. Those days are gone. There's no such thing as job security. And so the people that are going to make it are people like you, that the people who've said, I want to control my own destiny. And that's what happened to me. I had a turning point. I was working on a job, and I never forget going home because I was very upset when I got off from work. I had followed all the rules, and I put in to go on vacation, and you had to give a 2 week notice. And I got my plane tickets for my wife at that time and for my children. And the general manager said, you can't go. I said, why? He said, we don't have anybody to replace you on the air. I said, but I got my plane tickets. I followed the rules. I did it more than 2 weeks in advance. He said, you can't go. I said, but why? He said, because I said so. And that was a turning point. Have you had a moment in your life that there's before this and after this, And after this, nothing else will ever be the same again. I went home and I told my wife at the time that we couldn't go because I'd lose my job. And some of you might say, man, I wouldn't have taken that. Well, I wouldn't have either if I didn't have a mortgage note, if I didn't have two car notes to pay, if I didn't have children that were looking for me for their protection and to provide for them, and a wife. I needed that job. And I said to my former wife, I said, that Bert Childs is a jerk. And she said something that changed my life. She said, if he's a jerk, why is he signing your paycheck?
Hmm.
Now you see why I divorced her. I couldn't sleep that night. I said, oh my God, I got a jerk signing my paycheck. If he's a jerk, what does that make me?
Mm.
And that was a turning point, a turning point.
Mm.
And here's when people change. When they get to the point and they say, I've had it. I've had it with someone telling me what time to show up. I'd had it with someone telling me how long I can have a lunch break. I'd had it with someone telling me I have to get permission from them to go on vacation with my wife and children. I'd had it with someone determining how much I'm worth. I'd had it. And so I made a decision and something that you've already done that all of us are one skill set from a new life. And what you've done by saying yes to three and their mission to help people to raise the level of consciousness, to improve their health, help people to learn how they can create an entrepreneurial spirit and energy and build a business that will allow them to achieve financial opportunities for themselves and for their family and people that they care about, and be able to control their destiny, be able to become the architects of their own future. I want to give you a round of applause for saying yes to this new life, yes to becoming, as Mother Teresa would say, a pencil in the hand of God and start writing a new chapter in your life. And so I decided that I was not going to do that anymore. You know, there are people that get to a point where you just get sick and tired of being sick and tired. I wanted to do something else. And this is what you've done. Now, so the people that do that are people who invest in themselves. One of the things I love about Kim that she's very vested into not just being a messenger, but being the message. If you're serious about achieving your goals and dreams, you've got to make your mental health a priority. You've got to develop what I call emotional regulation. What do you mean by that? Things are going to happen to you, and things are going to happen to the people that you care about. Preparing for this conversation this evening, I got a call from my youngest son, and he said, Dad, I had to take Honor, my grandson, to urgent care last night. And I said, why? What's going on? He said he just woke up and he had some pains in his stomach, and I took him to urgent care. Now, there are times in life that things happen that you don't see coming. There's a scripture that says, think it not strange that you face the fiery furnaces of this world. You will, not you might, you will have tribulations. And there's a song years ago, a guy named Dimples that said, if it ain't one thing, it's another. And Viktor Frankl, in his book called Man's Search for Meaning, he said, in life, you either in a problem or just left one or headed toward one. That's why making your emotional well being a priority is major.
Hmm.
It's major because stuff be happening, life be happening up in here, up in here. Why, Les? I don't know. And when stuff happens to you, don't go around telling everybody. 80% don't care, and 20% glad it's you and not them.
Les, I
Oh
mean,
my God.
so many
Yeah.
nuggets in what you're sharing, Les. So, Les, I love it when you talk about when people encounter challenges and things that, in this changing times that we're living in right now. I love when you talked about when you teach about to distract, dispute, and to inspire. I found that it's extremely powerful. Maybe Les, can you touch upon a little bit about that? To
Yes, and this is why how you open up is very important. It's a good example. You told the story that you took a disruption in your life, a situation where you went expecting to take advantage of an opportunity and the people said no.
Mm,
And now you have to make a decision. I want everybody to write this down. We make decisions and our decisions make us. And you
mm,
made a decision not to spend your time being depressed, not being angry. Anger is a wind that blows out the lamp of the mind. You made a decision to become an entrepreneur. You made a decision that you were not going to stop in pursuit of creating a better life for you and your husband and your son. You made a decision that I have the ability to call the shots in my own life. And you begin to develop yourself to become the kind of person that people would want to work with, that will help them to begin to live their dreams rather than their fears. So when you tell a story, as you told the story, how people live their lives as a result of the story they believe about themselves. And all of us have stories. All of us have had things that we've gone through, things that have happened to us. And they don't have to be a down and out story. But what we do when we speak, and all of you are messengers of hope. What do you mean by that, Les? Because when there's hope in the future, that gives you power in the present. A lot of people's lives have been turned upside down because of COVID. A lot of people are going to lose their jobs because of artificial intelligence. So when you speak, when you present the opportunity, you distract, dispute, and inspire. You
mm,
distract people from the fear that they might have. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Or they found themselves in the grips of panicking and stress and anger. And you distract them from that. And as you present a new opportunity, as you begin to expand their vision to overcome possibility blindness and begin to see an opportunity that will give them the opportunity to live a new life. A lot of people have the ability to create a new reality for themselves, but they're trying to open up new doors of opportunities with an old mindset. And what you do is upgrade their thinking. What you do is you talk about your story and how you change your life, and you answer this call. A job is what you get paid for. A calling is what you are made for. This is a calling on Kim's life. This is something that gives her life meaning and purpose. And those of you that said yes, because what you see in Kim, you also see it in yourself. And so what you do is dismantle their current belief system and inspire them to become a pencil in the hand of God and start writing a new chapter in their lives. Distract, dispute, and inspire. And so it's important that we work on ourselves continuously, listening to motivational messages that inspire us and encouraging the people that you bring into the business to do that, because they're going to be going through some stuff. A
mhm,
lot of things are happening right now. We're going through a major shift in history. And so the people that are going to make it are people who have mental resiliency. Here's something else: relationships matter.
mm.
People don't want to be looked at like a and treated like a transaction. They can smell commission breath. No, you want to build relationships. And when you speak and when you present, people are asking three questions and why your story is important. Number one, who are you? Because people do business with people that they get to know. And
Mm,
so you want to share with them to give them some insight into you. Why is that important, Les? Because people, when you speak, when you're presenting the plan, that they want to identify with you, they want to relate to you, and they want to be able to feel a connection. You can't correct unless you connect. So
mm,
when Kim shares a story about being disappointed, had high expectations, and the people said no, all of us have experienced rejections and no's. The only people that have never been rejected and experienced no's are in the cemetery. And so when you make no your vitamin, you began to see it as an opportunity for you to say yes to yourself. yes to your dream, yes to your family, on taking on something that resonates with you, taking on something that allows you to build relationships with people who have similar values and dreams and want to do something different than what they've already been doing. And this is the opportunity that we have right now to help people to build a new future for themselves and for their families and to live a life that will outlive them. What other questions do you have for me, please?
Oh my goodness, Les, I'm just enjoying every single bit of it. Yes, I do have a couple of questions for you, Mr. Brown. Number one, as you were talking, in February, you'll be 80 years old. So I want to ask you, Les, what inspire you? Why are you, I mean, at this age, most people are thinking about retirement. What inspired you, Les?
I I think about I'm refired. You know, because you retire from stuff that's not you. I told my
Mm-mm.
children, yeah, I told my children, if they told you that I have died, don't let them embalm me. Hold my body for 3 days. Sneak into the morgue and put a microphone in my hand. If I don't grab it and say, you got to be hungry, I want you to say, Daddy's gone now. I was born to do this, just like you. The reason you build this business, the reason that you align yourself with three, you have the can't helps it. You love to serve people. The greatest among you will be your servant. You love helping people to reinvent themselves and to begin to take charge and become the architects of their own future. That's just who you are. You have the can't helps it. And so when you are doing something that you love, and you can make a difference in people's lives too, and you can also earn money in the process. It doesn't get any better than that. When I wake up in the morning, I say, Lord, whatever I face today, together, you and I can handle it. If I know my name and I got a heartbeat, everything else is icing on the cake, baby. Yes, I could do this.
Now, Les, I mean, maybe unbeknownst to you, I just want you to, like, as a fellow human being to a fellow human being, I want to share this with you, Les. I've heard your story about your mom many, many, many times. And, you might not know this. You might have, I don't know. We talk less. And, my father's 98 years old. And a couple of years ago, about a year ago, maybe a year and year, almost 2 years now. Oh my God, almost 2 years ago, I think my dad fell. So because of your story, how you took care of your mom, I decided to take care of my dad. And so I want you to know, I say that to say that oftentimes when we tell our story, I know I'm singing to the choir because when we tell our story to the world, you have no idea how that story impacts someone's lives because of your story, how you took care of your mother and who had raised 7 children by herself. And because of that is what taught me to also take care of my own father. So I want to
Mhm.
thank you for that. And I'm sure my dad would say, thank you, Mr. Brown. This little girl take care of dad. So
Yeah.
with that story, Les, I just want you to know, not only that story, your countless story. There are many YouTube videos about yourself and the students, the people that you mentor, how you have touched and changed people's lives. And one of the things I want to share with you, Les, is this. I have the opportunity to travel with you around the world and share the stage with you. One of the things I love and treasure about you, besides the powerful self on stage, it's the Les Brown off stage. And so I really, Les, I wanted to say thank you as a human being. And at your age, age is just a number, okay? I'm almost 60, you're almost 80. At our age, how you chose to continue to pour into people. I mean, and how you want to encourage everybody to be the voices of hope. The world needs to hear our story. The world needs to hear our voices. So, Les, I want to say, I mean, people can find you all over the internet, but I want to talk to our crowd here. I know that you're doing a lot of training, a lot of podcasts. I want to ask you, how do people find you, Les? How can people find you? Some of your training, what website do they go to find you, Les?
Well, they can go to my lesbrown.com because one of the things I'm doing It's teaching people how to tell their story, how to transform an audience individually and collectively, and how to monetize their stories. I have a program at my website called Speaking for a Living. We're living in a time where we need new voices of peace, harmony, and joy.
Mm.
Politics and religion keep people divided and at each other's throats. This is a different kind of place where we are right now. We need people who have a heart for people. You know that song years ago? I don't want to sing too much because I don't have enough insurance coverage for people who might faint when I start hitting these notes. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing. There's so little love. Now, I know y'all think this if you close your eyes that it's Johnny Mathis. No, I want to sing so bad. I do. It's a voice in me somewhere. It's going to come out before I leave here. But this is what we need.
Mm.
We need people who have a heart for love, where God is love, and he who dwelleth in love dwelleth in God, and God in them, and a heart for people, and seeing the value of building relationships. Harvard University did a study and they wanted to know what did the people, the top 1%, what did they have in common with the people that achieved at their level. It was a 78-year study called your reference group. And what Harvard University discovered, and this is what you have always done, Kim, is that they build a community, a network of relationships, just like you, of collaborative, achievement driven, supportive relationships. People had goals, had dreams, had values that they came together in alignment to build a community that will live lives that will outlive them, that will make impact on their families, on their community, and have the potential to create global transformation. This is what you're doing right now. And so this space where we are right now is a space where God is calling ordinary people like you and I and the people that are on this Zoom call to do extraordinary things, to do the greater work. Everyone listening to us, all of us are born the same way, dumb, naked, and speechless. And when we look at our lives, the choices that we make, every morning we wake up, we got a chance and we got a choice. And
Mm.
the choice to want to do something meaningful with our lives, the choice to want to live a life that will outlive us, a choice to live a life that we will be able to build a legacy and create generational wealth. That's where we are right now. That's everybody that's listening to you right now. That's what's in their heart. And it's exciting to be a part of that.
Wow, Les, thank you. Thank you. Les, I have another question. This is a personal question, okay?
Yes.
You ready?
Yes.
We're like two kids. Okay, Les, I know you love three products. Which one is your favorite? Which one is your favorite product?
I can tell you the one that I can tell you right that you turned me on to, Revive. Because as you are, let me your words matter. So
Yeah.
I'm not getting old, I'm getting older. There's a difference to getting
Mm.
old and getting older. And
Mm.
part of the process is balance, and you got to build muscle. And so what Revive does for me is that it helps to reduce the inflammation and the soreness and the discomfort. Because if you go to the gym and you work out and you don't feel any discomfort, the next day you know you haven't done anything. Okay. And so Revive said, "Oh, you've been to the gym, huh? Okay, you got a little motivated and picked up a little bit too much, did you? Mm-hmm. Okay, I got you. I got your back. Don't worry about it. I can help you out up in here, up in here." And so Revive is mine, and also Immune. They say there might be an uptick of the COVID. And so usually when I do Zoom, I wear a mask just in case somebody in the audience got it. When I take my immune, I feel I'm protected 24/7. Yes.
Well, thank you. By the way, Les, did you ever try out new skincare product? Did you get a new serum?
No, I need to do that.
Oh
Please
my
help me
God.
out.
We just launched the world's first neurocosmetic that actually triggers a brain skin connection. So
Mm,
I got this prepared for you, sir. So I'll mail that off to you.
okay.
The whole
Well,
skin.
thank you so much.
You look
People usually
fabulous.
when they receive gifts, they say, "Oh, you shouldn't have." I say, "Oh, you should have."
But by the way, Les, you absolutely look fantastic. You have lost like 20 pounds, you say?
Yes. And so when you take the multivitamins, that package, it takes off the edge of craving when you get proper nutrition and proper minerals and the vitamins that we have. As we know, it's not what you take, it's what your body absorbs.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't do any snacking. And I always tell my brother, my twin brother, who I get to be his caregiver, and we're 5 minutes apart. I told him, I said, I came here looking out for you. You went out first. I heard a slap and you scream, and I came out and said, hey, what's going on? And they pulled me out. And so I told him, I looked, he went to church and he came back with a pound cake and he said, you want a slice? I said, Wesley, nothing tastes as good as health feels.
Mm-hmm.
I said, sugar's off limits for us. He said, well, I'm just going to eat a little slice. I said, okay. I said, I don't get to tell you how to live your life, but I'm suggesting let us do life together
Mm-hmm.
and be able to not just add years to our life, but add life to our years. And our health is very important. So he's taking the products along with me, and
Good.
he said, I'm going to take the products and I'm going to eat part of this pound cake anyhow.
And by the way, are you eating 3 or 4 a day? These only one a day.
I
How many?
take three a day,
No
three
wonder you
packs a day.
have
This is
energy.
why I got so much energy. Yes, and I got muscles too.
Awesome, awesome. I mean, amazing. Well, Les, I thank you so much for taking time. And, it is always such a joy to connect with you and the work that you do and you pour into all of us. And I want to say thank you. And tonight, here's my takeaway. I have a couple of takeaway from your sharing every time I
Okay,
talk
I
to
want to
you.
share this one thing, and I
Yes,
want
please do.
everybody to write this down.
Absolutely, please do.
Because when you have goals and dreams, you're going to have distractions. In the book called The University of Success by Og Mandino, he said most people don't achieve their goals because of distractions, of taking on and saying yes to other people's agenda. So I want everybody to write this down, and it's going to make a dramatic difference in your life in taking care of your health, making your dreams a priority, and minimizing the distractions in your life. And here it is. Don't make and allow yourself to be the go to person for people you can't go to. Don't be the go to person for people you can't go to. And this is what a lot of people do is that they allow themselves to be depleted, the energy of vampires and family members and friends who ask you to bail them out. Do you remember that movie, Jerry Maguire, Help Me to Help You? There's some people that will pull you down before you can pull them up.
Hmm. Don't be
And
someone's
so,
dumpster. Don't never be someone's dumpster.
no, don't be a go-to person for people you can't go to. No.
Mhm.
There are people who are always there when they need you, but when you need them, you can't find them. And what
Mm-mm.
you'll find that when you're an entrepreneur, when you have goals and dreams, you're going to lose a lot of friends and family members. It's lonely at the top. I want to say this, it's lonely at the top, but you eat better. Oh, behave. Okay, I'll behave.
So true. So true. It's more fun when we have a group of people together, right?
Yes. I can't wait
Mhm.
for us to share the stage together because I know you're coming for me and I'm not scared. Okay. Yes, we got to do it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Les. I mean, is there any final thoughts you want to share before I share my takeaway from this talk tonight?
Yes, here's what I like to say. The people that are going to make it and the people that you want to build a relationship with, you want to have the mindset. You got to be hungry. What do you mean by that? If you're casual about your dream will end up a casualty. People
Mhm.
that are hungry are disciplined. People that are hungry are focused. People that are hungry are relentless and fearless. They're going to push forward. They're going to have setbacks. They make know their vitamin. They have this something that they want that gives their life meaning and purpose and value. And they're not going to stop until they do it. You must be willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Les. Thank you. And I want to share my thought. I mean, I've listened to you for like, my God, 30 years and then some. Okay. And I absolutely love our friendship. And I, you have no idea, Les, how much I love you, how much I respect you. And so
Mhm.
tonight, my takeaway is this, that from both Les Brown and myself, all of us, people that have disciplined themselves, that are willing to disrupt and distract things that are happening to us in spite of challenges, that our past does not equal to our future. Both Les Brown and myself came from very humble beginning. And so our past does not equal to our future. Another thing that I take away, Les, from what you talk here today is about lip service versus life service. Many people in this world around us right now, almost like unconsciously doing this lip service thing. Yeah, I want this. Yeah, I want change. It's all lip service. You want to talk about love. You want to talk about being contribution to society. Well, you know what? Let's do our life service. And so, and the other thing is really pertinent, Les, is about, heart versus herd. When majority of humanity, the past eons of conditioning, most people have become herds. And what we do is all hearts, especially as we enter the new world, 2025. It's all about heart-based community. It's about hard work. And so when we go about share our passion, what we're on about doing, most people with the herd mentality is they are living in the bubble of past conditioning, past belief, past paradigm, and yet we are doing life service. So I absolutely love that. And then the other part is second to last is about this 40-40-20 plan that Les you talked about. People will work 40 hours a week for 40 years. And then they retire off 20% of what they used to make. Folks, it's time for us to really wake up. And because ultimately the last thing is what Les talked about. When we wake up every morning, there's just two C's. It's about choice and chance. We have a chance to change our own lives and make an impact in other people's lives. And that choice is in your hands. So, Mr. Les Brown, thank you so much. Thank you for coming on today. You continue to be the inspiration, the motivation, and my drive. Why I want to be why I want to do this one more time, a legacy project to help together impact the world. And so thank you, Mr. Brown. I love you. And
Thank you, and give your wonderful husband my regards and your son. Bye for now. Bye bye.
bye, Les. Thank you so
Bye.
much, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to Empowerment Tuesday. We look forward to meeting you soon. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Have a great evening.